Live from Miami Subs Grill in Dallas, Texas, with the music of Emerald City, this is Sports Waves. Now, here's your host, Mike Doocy.
Hi again, everybody, and welcome to Sports Waves. As you can see and hear, we have a great crowd on hand at Miami Subs Grill, and we appreciate you joining us at home tonight. It's going to be an interesting and exciting hour as we talk football with, well, some big-name guests. Norv Turner, head coach of the Washington Redskins. Norv and his club had a rough weekend against the Dallas Cowboys, but anybody who knows about Norv Turner's coaching ability knows that it won't take him long to get the Skins back on the right track. Norv Turner joins us via satellite from Washington in a few minutes. Russell Maryland, the great defensive lineman from the Dallas Cowboys, will be along as well. Part of that Dallas defense, which has really played above a lot of the expectations that many had in the preseason. Russell Maryland will be along in a few minutes as well. And last but certainly not least, the one and only Emmitt Smith will be with us in just a few minutes. Emmitt is signing copies of his book right now at a book signing in Denton, Texas, and we'll drop in on that with Emmitt Smith. But allow me now, if you would, to introduce my co-host for tonight's edition of Sports Waves. Nate Newton is a guy that, even though he's an offensive lineman playing in a position that often doesn't get much recognition, Nate Newton gets plenty of recognition. You have to recognize a guy that's his size, number one, but a great sense of humor, loves dealing with the media and with the fans, and definitely one of the most popular members of the Dallas Cowboys. Welcome, Nate Newton. Yeah. Woo. Yeah. Yeah. Dude, how you doing, baby? Good to see you. Yeah. Wow. All right, Nate, they love you. They love you in Dallas.
I love them, hey.
The big win over the Redskins on Sunday. RFK has been a place that's always been tough for anybody to play in, especially the Cowboys, including the Cowboys, who hadn't won there in a couple of years. You made it look pretty easy against the Skins.
Oh, yeah, man. Our defense played lights out. Charles Haley, Darren Woodson, Chad Hennings. These guys, they playing tremendous. Russell Maryland, I mean, they doing what they're supposed to do. They give us a short field. I mean, I don't think they got past our 50 the whole first half. So they give us a short field, and we just handed the ball to Emmitt, throw it to Mike, having a big play here and there, and things work.
I wrote back on the team play, and as did many members of the media, as they do after every game. And I could hear you throughout the plane coming back. What was that all about? You were working the crowd. You were cheering. You were giving people a hard time. You were having a good time on that plane ride back on Sunday.
Hey, man, you know me. I'm like this, man. You know, last 2 weeks ago we had not so great time, you know, and a lot of the fans, you know, they kind of went astray, you know, and I just let them know, you know, I'm trying to let my players know that, hey, man, no matter what happened, we got to stick together. We got to keep playing hard. So when we got off that plane with the Washington game, I wanted everybody to know how Nate Newton felt.
Emmitt Smith, the football player, is doubling as Emmitt Smith, the author. Let's go now to Emmitt in Denton, Texas. For those of you watching around the country, Denton is just a little bit north of the Dallas-Fort Worth metro area. And Emmitt is signing some copies of his book, The Emmitt Zone. Emmitt, Mike Doocy here along with Nate Newton. How you doing this evening?
I got two questions. I got a question from the young lady right here in front of me. Then I got you on the mic, Tony. What's up?
We're a little late here.
Okay. I don't know if Emmitt can hear me right now or not.
Can I answer the question the little girl asked me?
Yeah, answer. Go ahead.
She asked me the question of what would I be doing after I get through playing a game of football. Hopefully resting somewhere. And probably playing plenty of golf somewhere and enjoying life. And probably working with these guys right here, too.
Hey, Emmitt, a lot of Cowboys fans are wondering about the hamstring injury. How are you feeling, and how soon are you going to be able to get back at it?
Well, my hamstring is tight right now. I'm feeling fine spiritually, but physically, my hamstring is definitely bothering me a little bit. It's tight, and hopefully by Wednesday, get the opportunity to loosen up, and I get to go out there and practice with Nate and those guys.
Hey, Emmitt, this is big news, man. Look at that. You take it easy Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Now, Sunday, you got to loosen up. I'm going to call a masseuse in there and let them work on you.
Nate, you know I'm going to definitely be taking it easy tomorrow. I'm going to be up in the training room all day tomorrow like I was today. But, you know, by Wednesday, hopefully it do loosen it up well enough where I can go out and do a little bit of running. And if I can't, I won't. But I would prefer to practice, because if I don't, you know what kind of grief I'm going to get from you guys.
I hear that. Emmitt, on your new book, man, I know it's something real special. And Mark Two and they came through the locker room the other day asking all the offensive linemen did we want a book? Now, I want a book, but if that's going to be our only gift we're going to get from you this year, I don't want it.
Nate, out of all people, you know me better than that.
Okay.
You know I'm not just going to give you guys a book this year. But I tell you one thing, though. If I don't get me a fourth rushing title in here, you guys may get only a book.
Hey, Emmett, the Cowboys have brought Cleveland Gary in, apparently to sign him as a backup. What do you feel about them bringing him in as some insurance?
You know, I think it's only can help the team because with my hamstring lingering on the way it has and my foot been bothering me also for the past 2 weeks, it gives me an opportunity to go in and do as much as I can in the run game as well as help out in the passing game. But it also give Cleveland or Lincoln the opportunity to come in and give me a break sparingly, maybe a little rest here and there so I don't put as much strain on the hamstring throughout the course of the game.
Let's go into the audience now for a question for Emmett Smith. Carolyn?
Thank you, Mike. Hi, Emmett. It's Carolyn. I haven't seen you since your birthday, but you're still looking well. I'm out here with David Gentry, and David has a question for you.
Okay.
Emmett, I understand your hamstrings hurt, and Cleveland's coming in. Lincoln did a good job in the second half of the game, and I was just wondering if Cleveland comes in, who's going to start if you're not able to start? Would it be Lincoln, or would Cleveland Gary start that quick?
I think they would probably start Lincoln Coleman, if you ask me. That would be my opinion. But Cleveland Gary definitely knows the system that we're in because he played out in the Rams system. That the Rams run basically the same system that we're running. So he knows what's going on. And it's just a matter of how comfortable he is with being behind Newt and the rest of the guys and being in with Troy. And you know, basically, it's kind of hard to say who would be starting, but I would have to say Lincoln.
Hey, Emmett, how are the sales of the book going right now?
How the sales of the book going right now? I think they're doing pretty good.
Hey, Emmett, really, man, I know a lot of people concerned about who's going to back you up, man, but like I said before, you just sit there and you sign books and put some ice on your leg and a little heat and stem, and everything will be all right Sunday.
And what, Nate, you know I got treatment going on at the house tonight. When I get done here, I'm going home, getting ice, stem, and all, and nothing but rest. So don't just think that I'm out running the street on a bad leg.
Hey, Emmett Smith, thanks a lot for joining us.
All right, baby.
All right, guys.
Well, the hamstring doesn't affect his ability to sign those books.
No,
you guys obviously have quite a relationship.
What, they going for like, what, $30 a pop? I mean,
I don't know.
I don't think nothing wrong with his finger.
He's one of a kind, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's a tremendous
He's special, man. I mean, he's a workhorse. I mean, you see him doing, picking up blitzes, man, making blocks, you know, making adjustments to the offensive line. I mean, he's just a great player.
All right, let's shift gears a bit. Our wave line question this week is going to have to do with football on television. Your games, or most of them this year, are on Fox as opposed to CBS in past years. So the wave line question is, which network is doing the best job bringing you the NFL? Would it be ABC, Fox, NBC, or TNT? Call 1-800-700-9002 to place your vote. The call is free. We'll be right back with Washington Redskins head coach Norv Turner joining us via satellite from Washington. Stay with us on Sports Web.
Waves is brought to you by Apex Authentic NFL Pro Line Apparel, available at Foot Action.
By American Airlines, something special in the air.
And by Miami Subs Grill, great food served fast.
That's what this game is all about.
Welcome back to Sports Waves. I'm Mike Doocy, along with Nate Newton. Well, back in 1991, Jimmy Johnson named Norval Eugene Turner offensive coordinator of the Dallas Cowboys, a team that went from last in offense in the NFL, went to fourth the last couple of years, both those seasons crowned with Super Bowl victories. Now, the Washington Redskins saw Norv's talent and called on him to bring back some of the success that the team enjoyed for so many years under Coach Joe Gibbs. Now, before we introduce Coach Turner to you, Ken Meese gives us a closer look at Turner's tenure as Redskins chief.
When Redskins owner Jack Kent Cooke decided Richie Pettibone's 4-12 one-year record wasn't good enough, it was decided an offensive mind was needed to turn this team around. The entire list of coaching prospects totaled one, Norv Turner.
He's done everything that you want a guy to do to prepare himself to be a head coach.
So here the Redskins are, 4 games into Turner's first year, and on a pace to match Pettibone's .250 winning percentage. Yet Turner has won over new and old Redskins alike.
Norv has put us in position each week to go out there and do the jobs we've done. I think what it's come down to is we haven't executed everything that we need to do.
I think he's a tremendous coach. I think he's going to be one of the better coaches in the league. I think he'll go down in history as being one of the great coaches.
A real test of Norv's coaching ability, the delicate balance of keeping quarterback John Freese on top of his game while bringing along top draft choice Heath Shuler. He made the quarterbacking switch to Shuler this week.
It's been handled absolutely great, and the reason that it went so smoothly is because Norv's been honest with me.
He's a coach, he's a friend, he's someone you can look to and just say, help me out on this play, and he'll sit down just like most head coaches don't take that approach to a player, especially a rookie player.
And he's attracted a couple of guys who've crossed his path before.
I'm a Redskin now. That's all there is to say about that. It's time to go on.
He coached me in LA from 85 through 90, and that's why we know each other very well. And I think that's one of the reasons I've made my decision to come here. Him being a head coach and using the same offense that we had in LA that I was pretty comfortable with.
And joining us now via satellite from Washington, Norv Turner. Norv, we appreciate you taking a few minutes with us tonight. This is Mike Doocy, and Nate Newton is with us here as well. Obviously, a tough loss to the Cowboys over the weekend. Had to be a game that was strange for you in some ways to prepare for. What was it like going up against the team that you were so close to for so many years?
Well, you try to eliminate the emotions involved. We worked hard during the week to get ready, and obviously are disappointed about the way we performed. Again, when you don't perform well, you tend to look at yourself, looking at the film and looking at it on the field. The Cowboys were impressive, awfully impressive defensively, and they did what they had to do offensively.
Heath Shuler, everybody's got to start their first game sometime. If you had it to do over again, would you have him start against the world champions as his first start?
Oh, absolutely. As you said it best, you have to start somewhere. We have a bunch of tough opponents coming up. We felt that was as good a time as any.
Hey, Coach Turner, man.
Nate,
how you doing,
sorry
man?
I didn't get to say hello to you yesterday.
Hey, man.
You looked awfully good out there.
Thank you, Coach. It's better times yet to come, Coach. Just take it from me. It'll get better.
Well, thanks, Nate. I know we've been through a couple tough ones ourselves together, and you just got to take the good with the bad, and we'll get better.
Let's talk about, Norv, if we could, the comparison between Dallas and Washington. I read one of your quotes where you talked about the intensity of the scrutiny in Washington, and it seems like those of us in Dallas, it feels pretty intense here too. Is there even more of a spotlight, a brighter spotlight in Washington than there is in Dallas when it comes to looking at the football team?
Oh, I don't know. I think here the city is so involved. It's government and football. In Dallas, I think everyone's involved, and I'm not sure you can have more scrutiny than you had in Dallas, especially with the level the teams played at the last couple of years and continuing to play at.
Last week, as you were preparing for the game, did you have a chance to talk to Jimmy Johnson at all?
I talked to Jimmy late in the week, and I like talking to him. He gives me some good insights on things, and it's just good to hear his voice, and we've become very good friends.
Norv, we've got Nate Newton here, as we said, and he got a little bit emotional when he was talking to you. I could tell it was tough for him to talk with you because he realizes how difficult this time is that you're going through. What sort of feeling did you have before and after the game with the former Cowboy players on Sunday when you had a chance to talk to them out there?
Well, it's obviously great seeing the guys, and you
remove your personal emotions from the fact that it's a game and it's a business. There's some of my best friends that I'll ever have in my life there on that football team, and it was a great period of time for me.
Hey, Coach, you know that power right you perfected for me during the Super Bowl? I think we read it about 7 times, man.
Yeah, I noticed, Nate. You don't have to remind me, Nate. I noticed, and I watched the film this morning. You're moving awfully well.
Oh, yeah, I feel pretty good, Coach. And like I say, times to get better for you.
Oh, well, thank you. Yeah. You guys, you know, get it. You've very, very impressive, and I know you've got a big football game this week, so make sure you get ready.
Hey, you got anything you want me to tell Buddy Ryan for you?
Don't say anything to Buddy. We got him next week.
Okay. Let's go to the studio audience. A question for Norv Turner. Carolyn?
Thank you, Mike. I'm out here with one of our faithful Sports Waves fans, Shelly's boyfriend, Mike Taylor. What's your question for Norv?
Yeah, if Jimmy and Jerry had gotten into a fight 2 months earlier, would you be the coach of the world champs right now?
Well, you know, I think any kind of question like that is very hypothetical, and I've got an excellent job up here, and I'm excited for what the future brings us here in Washington.
All right, Norv, stay with us if you would. We'll be back with Norv Turner. More questions and answers coming up on Sports Waves. Stay with us.
Catch the wave by wearing our team colors. The Sports Waves t-shirt is perfect for the big game with our logo proudly displayed on front and back. It's 100% cotton, comes in large and extra large, and can be yours for only $11.99. The cap is adjustable and one size fits all, also for only $11.99. The cap and t-shirt together are offered at a special discount, just $19.99. Sports Waves accepts MasterCard, Visa, and Discover. Call 1-800-6-WAVES-9.
Come on, take the plunge.
That's 1-800-6-WAVES-9. Add $3.95 for shipping. Offer void where prohibited. The wave still not included.
Tonight's Sports Waves with Mike Doocy is being sponsored in part by Acura, by Al's Pick-U-Park, by Metrocell, and by Acock Tire and Wheel.
Welcome back to Sports Waves. Mike Doocy with Nate Newton and Norv Turner with us via satellite from Washington, D.C. Norv, put you on the spot a little bit here and talk about this big guy that's sitting next to me, Nate Newton, and what he and that, you know, that entire offensive line, which has come together as such a great veteran group over the years, has meant to the success of the Cowboys.
Well, first of all, Nate knows how I feel about him, and he knows how I feel about offensive football. It starts up front. It starts with the offensive line, and you get a group of guys like the Cowboys have that like to play the game very, very physical, huh, Nate? Like we like to say. They're an impressive group.
Nate, what was it like to play for this guy and be a part of a unit that was under his direction?
Well, one thing about Coach Turner, he was very honest. You know, he was up front before every game, you know, like the day before or the day of the game, he would come to us and say, hey, we're going to run the ball or we're going to pass the ball. And he let us know, he let us in on the game plan, so it was no secrets, and we really appreciate that.
We are going to go out into our crowd now. Alfredo Roberts has a question for the coach. Fredo?
No, I couldn't pass up this opportunity.
Alfredo, what are you doing there?
Well, you left, and I couldn't play because you wasn't here coaching me. I knew I couldn't run that press right. And I'm watching Ethan Horton up there, and he's not doing it like I used to do it for you, so when he wants some pointers, you have him call me.
Okay, I'll do that.
Is it? Like Nate said to you earlier tonight, everything is, you know, you're going to go through a few hard times, but I like what you're doing out there in Washington, and I wish you the best of luck. And if you need somebody to come up and help you out, unfortunately I can't play anymore, but help you out any way I can, I'm there for you.
Okay, Alfredo, thank you.
Norv, let's talk a little bit about your football team. We mentioned Heath Schuler earlier, a rough start for him, but all sorts of potential for this kid. What, you know, you've been asked this before, but what sort of similarities do you see between him and Troy Aikman?
Well, they are at completely different
stages in their career. He's got the quick release and got a very strong arm. He's just starting out. You think back to 5 or 6 years ago when Troy was getting started, and that's probably where he's at. We need to obviously play better than we did last week. We were on a little bit of a roll with the passing game offensively. We've been making plays, and the Cowboys did a good job of shutting us down. So we have to regroup and do the best we can this week, get ready for Philadelphia.
Or we have people all over the place here in the restaurant who want to ask you questions. We're going to go out to the drive-through window now with a question for the coach.
Hi, Mike. I'm outside. As you can see, it's hot out here. Thank you very much. I appreciate this. I'm in the drive-through with Ed Lassiter, and he has a question for Norv.
Hi, Norv. I was wondering what changes you're going to have to make for the next game. Or are you going to kind of hang in with Heath Schuler and see how he works out throughout the season?
Yeah, we're going to stay with Heath. You know, that was a decision I made a week ago. It was time to get Heath going. We're going to continue to go with him, and I think we'll show improvement. He'll show improvement in the next football game.
It's kind of a balance, fine line you have to walk, isn't it, Norv? Because you've got a guy who's going to take his lumps early on, but you can't just yank him from the ball game and destroy his confidence early on either, right?
Yeah, and everyone gets caught up in the confidence thing. You know, you got to go play, and there are some lumps you're going to take, as you would say, but there will be more and more good things, and guys are used to competing, and guys know at in this level, in this league, that everything isn't going to go smoothly, everything isn't going to be good, but you just have to work to make it as good as it can be. Hey, Coach, forget about football right about now. I mean, you got a lovely wife and some kids, man. I mean, how are the kids adjusting, and how's your wife doing? Is she spinning up your American Express or what? She's working on that, but it's been a nice move for the kids. And my oldest son, Scott, is playing football, and he plays an interesting combination. He plays quarterback and defensive end, and he actually had a couple sacks the other day in his game. I had that. Hey, that's all right. That's all right.
There's been quite a controversy in Dallas, as you know, Coach, about coaches leaving meetings and things to watch their sons play. I'm not even going to get into that.
Hey, look at it, Coach.
Thank you.
Yeah, hey,
okay.
Coach, hey, is you sleeping on that cot or is you going home? Because I know your wife demands that you come home. Are you sleeping on the cot? I'm making it home, Nate. Yeah, okay. You know what I do miss though? I miss the deli sandwiches, the Nate specials. They don't have them up here. Hey, well, I tell you what, I'll FedEx you a couple of sandwiches up there, right? No, just have a couple for me, okay? No, I can't do that. I'm on a strict diet, you know. I thought I looked like you were yesterday when I saw you out here. I had that.
Norv, before the season started, a lot of people thought the NFC East was really going to be down, but suddenly you have 3 football teams anyway in Dallas and New York and Philadelphia that have played very well early on. So not only are you dealing with a new football team, but you're in a formidable division as well.
Well, I know a couple of people asked me about it in August, and it was hard for me to imagine the NFC East being down. I have great respect for Dan Reeves. I know what Philadelphia did in the offseason to improve themselves. I knew the Cowboys were going to be awfully good, and I don't think anyone, I know Phoenix got off to a slow start, but after what they did this last weekend, I don't think anyone should count them out.
Back into our studio audience now, Carolyn Neff.
Well, thank you for welcoming me back into the air conditioning, Mike. It's much cooler in here. I'm here with Keith Llewellyn, who has a question for Nate.
Yeah, Nate, how's it going, man? You had a pretty good game yesterday.
I've been fortunate, man. I'm staying healthy, and I feel good about it, man. But we got to get on a serious roll about 8 or 9 games.
All right, we'll appreciate that. But what I really want to ask you, are you getting up early enough to get that parking spot this week?
No. I drive a Super Sport Impala, and Mike and Emmett, they drive the SL Mercedes, and seem like, they usually didn't get up that early. Emmett got to get up early because he got the injury, but Mike usually wouldn't come early, but now they starting to come at like 7 and 8. Okay. So I ain't getting up that early, man. I get around about 8 or 9.
All right. Yeah. Well, Norv, thanks for sitting in on our little conversation here. As you can see, not much has changed when it comes to Nate Newton. He still loves to have a good time with the fans and the media. And we wish you the best of luck here as the season continues in Washington. Thanks for joining us.
Keep the faith, Coach. Keep the faith. Thank you very much. Good talking to you, Nate. Good talking to you, Mike.
That's Norv Turner. We appreciate him joining us tonight on Sports Waves. When we come back, Mark Meter tells us about another wild Sunday in the NFL. Also, Russell Maryland and Gale Sayers, our celebrity pick 3. Stay with us on Sportsway.
Is this our Negro class?
Yeah, this is the first annual Negro Sports Wave golf tournament.
Jimmy here is Jim Meyer, call him Jimbo, works with the guys. He's the assistant trainer.
Emmett kind of twisted my arm a little bit when he had his surgery and he wanted to get out early, so we used golf as one of his rehab tools.
Tell me about that Alvin guy. The way he's playing right now is like he didn't practice football, he played golf.
I think so. I think he snuck away in between practices.
Right down the center. Hey, Hop, I see you shooting your weight.
I'm the best golf out here today.
Because you don't have any clubs.
I can bring my club. I'm just out here shooting my personal best.
Most people.
Welcome back to Sports Waves. Mike Doocy with Nate Newton. You know, the best thing about week number 5 in the NFL was the fact that the games were actually played. No strikes, no lockouts in football. On the field, penalties are up 25% from this time last year, so the officials are earning that extra money they've gotten by virtue of a new agreement they reached a couple of weeks ago. On the field highlights, well, Mark Meter has them.
NFL Sunday in week number 5, and it was a dog day afternoon with more than half the day's games won by the underdog. The notables, the Eagles fly into Candlestick and extinguish the 49ers. It was a coming-out party for rookie running back Charlie Garner. He galloped for 111 yards and 2 TDs in his first regular season start. A super game in the Superdome where the New Orleans Saints dropped the New York Giants from the ranks of the unbeaten. That leaves the San Diego Chargers, who had the week off, as the NFL's only undefeated team. The underdog Bears beat the Bills by a touchdown. And speaking of touchdowns, how about this one? Steve Walsh slips, rights himself, and fires the pass to the back of the end zone, where Chris Gedney hauls in the bullet with one hand. Buddy Ball is on a roll in Arizona. The previously winless Cardinals flying high after their big win over the Vikings. A big coaching duel in Cincinnati. For the first time in modern professional sports history, a father coached against his son. The legend Don Shula, no problems as his Miami Dolphins improved their record to 4-1 by beating son Dave Shula's Cincinnati Bengals. One of the league's biggest rivalries finds two teams at opposite ends of the spectrum. The well-built Dallas Cowboys going against a rebuilding Washington Redskins. While Washington's future may rest on the arm of rookie quarterback Heath Shuler, the present-day Cowboys mowed right over him and his Skins. And just when you thought there was no love in the NFL, watch the Rams' Fred Stokes give the Falcons' Jeff George a big hug and a kiss. George suffered a concussion from the encounter. That's this week's NFL wrap-up. I'm Mark Meter for Sports Waves.
Thank you, Mark. Nate, you saw Chris Gedney of the Bears reach out for that.
Yeah.
You ever goof around at tight end in practice or just in the backyard and throw the ball around a little bit?
No.
You can make a catch like that.
No, I never fantasized like that, man. I make plenty good money blocking.
Yeah,
so I don't want to lose it, messing
You're
around.
the best at what you do.
That's
I mess
right.
around with it. George Foreman last week went 2 for 3 on our Celebrity Pick series. So see if we can do even better this week. Gale Sayers was in town promoting an MVP award for kids in the classroom. That's a program sponsored by Hitachi. Well, we cornered him and asked him to lend his considerable expertise on these 3 big games.
Denver and Seattle. Denver's having a lot of problems now. John Elway's getting old. I like Seattle. Kansas City and San Diego. Montana is too old. I like San Diego. Miami and Buffalo. Buffalo is coming on strong, but without Thurman Thomas, I like Miami.
That's Hall of Famer Gale Sayers with his Celebrity Pick 3. Nate, let's go over these ball games. Denver at Seattle, first of all.
Seattle, Kevin Martin, man. He's been making a lot of plays. He had 100 and some yards this past week with 8 catches. I think a touchdown, so I'm going with Kevin Martin in the Seattle Seahawks.
Kansas City tries to knock San Diego into the loss column in San Diego. Who do you like in that?
I'm going with Kansas City. My brother plays for him, so I have to go with that. So, you know, I got to pay. I'm just a regular fan when it comes to other teams, man. I got my, you know, picks and favorites.
All right, and finally, Miami at Buffalo.
I sure would like to meet Buffalo again in another Super Bowl. I think I'd go with Buffalo.
When we come back, Russell Maryland of the Dallas Cowboys joins us. Now it's time for a band break. You've enjoyed the music of Emerald City throughout our Sports Wave show, and they're going to entertain you for the next few seconds now. Dino, take it away.
Thanks, Mike. How's everybody doing? I'd like to feature a good friend of ours, Tony Wilcox. Shine a sparkle light on you, yeah. Oh, give me strength and carry on. You can make your body big and strong. On the mantle of the sun.
They are good, Emerald City. Oh, man. Welcome back to Sports Waves, along with Nate Newton. I'm Mike Doocy, and we're about to welcome another special guest tonight, a valuable member of the Dallas Cowboys defense. Russell Maryland has really molded himself into one of the top defensive linemen in football, last year earning his first Pro Bowl appearance. Welcome to Sports Waves, Russell Maryland. All right, Russell, now here's your chance to gloat. The defense carried this football team last weekend, right?
Well, I wouldn't say all that. I know we did a great job, and, you know, just sometimes off.
Hold on, Rob. I'm going to cut you out. I want to stand up that Super Bowl ring.
All right. Well, as I was saying, you know, offensive guys want to take over the show all the time, you know, but, you know, get a defense a chance every once in a while. We got a good squad, too. So.
Right.
Coming into the season, the Dallas defense didn't get a lot of respect. I wouldn't know if I'd go so far as to say a no-name defense, but maybe a no-respect defense. Did you guys use maybe a little of that lack of respect as some incentive to really play some outstanding football here through the first 4 games?
Well, ever since I've been here, since '91, you know, we've gone from the no-name defense to the no-respect defense, but it doesn't really matter as long as we got, you know, we get knees. As long as we're going to the Super Bowl, it doesn't matter what kind of respect we get.
I mean, hey, don't take it personal. Hey, I don't have nothing to do with that, all right? I have nothing to do with that.
No, you see, you know, it's always Troy Aikman, Emmitt Smith. Right. You know, what about the Jim Jeffcoats, the Charles Haley's, you know, and Robert Jones, all those guys?
You went into RFK on Sunday, and you won a game more decisively than you could have ever imagined possible. Did you ever think you'd win a game that handily in Washington?
Well, you know, they have a great team. When you really look at it, they have most of their offensive starters that started against us when they beat us the opener of last season. So I think we were very prepared. You know, we lost to Detroit, and we had an extra week to let that, you know, that bad taste kind of fester up in us. And we just, you know, practiced hard those 2 weeks, and we went at it. And we really got our technical aspects down to go into this game. We had it in our mind to go in and get turnovers. That was a basic thing that we wanted to get, turnovers. We got a couple of those and just let the offense do the rest.
Bruh, I know that you...
Nate's
hold on. Wait now, which one you want me to use?
There you go. Perfect. Sounds great.
The red one. Y'all with me? Okay. All right. The red one. All right. You see how they cater to the offensive players, run?
I know, man, all the time.
I love it, baby. Look here, man. I mean, I know I get away from football sometimes, and I shouldn't do this. But who was the lovely lady that came with you earlier today? I mean, is that your wife?
That's my fiance.
Yeah. What's her
Rose.
Her name's Sweet Rose.
Yeah.
I mean, how did you meet her?
Really, I met her back in Miami when I was in college.
Right.
A couple years ago. And
don't be so direct. I mean, expand on it, please.
We've been going out for about I guess 5 years now. So.
Yeah.
And I engaged her a couple months ago.
And so when is the date?
Sometime next year.
Sometime next year.
Yeah.
Don't go for it, Rose. Put a date on it, baby. Okay.
So you got me sweating up here.
Yeah. Don't worry. I'll wipe it off for the defense, okay?
Well, we continue now on Love Connection with more questions for Russell Merrill. You've won 2 national championships as a player. You've got 2 national championship rings in college, 2 Super Bowl rings. How does a guy acquire such a taste to become such a winner at such a young age?
I don't know. I've had a lot of success. I'm only 25 years old. I've been able to go and meet the president, on 4 occasions, and just been real lucky. God has truly blessed me, and He's given me talents that, that has gotten me here this far. So it's just a blessing to be here, and at such an early age. I'm ready to retire now.
Whoa! All right.
Just kidding.
We may have a scoop. No, Russell and Nate will continue. Stay with us. Sports Waves. We'll be right back in just a moment.
Catch the wave by wearing our team colors. The Sports Waves t-shirt is perfect for the big game with our logo proudly displayed on front and back. It's 100% cotton, comes in large and extra large, and can be yours for only $11.99. The cap is adjustable and one size fits all, also for only $11.99. The cap and t-shirt together are offered at a special discount, just $19.99. Sports Waves accepts MasterCard, Visa, and Discover. Call 1-800-6-WAVES-9.
Come on, take the plunge.
That's 1-800-6-WAVES-9. Add $3.95 for shipping. Offer void where prohibited. The waves still not included.
Time to take it.
Take your taste.
So Jay Lombardo, tell us, who is the best dressed man at Lombardo?
All my guys are the best dressed. Hey, these guys for instance. Hey, we don't need the big board for this.
Hey, nobody's looking better than me. My show.
Problem is, Mikey, you got a bad show.
The best.
Taste that you'll find is the taste so unique. Take your taste to a different place. Miami Studs Grill.
Hey, what about us? How about Mike?
American Airlines, something special to Europe.
The Big Kahuna.
After disappointing career stops in Dallas and New Orleans, Steve Walsh has found new life in Chicago. His fourth quarter 1-yard sneak in Sunday's win over Buffalo gives the Bears a dramatic 20-13 upset win. Steve Walsh, the NFL's Big Kahuna.
Back with Russell Maryland and Nate Newton on Sports Waves. Russell, you had a chance to play for Jimmy Johnson in college and in the pros, and now Barry Switzer is the head coach with the Cowboys. What's the major difference between the two, and how do you feel the new coaching regime has gone so far?
Well, I think we've done a great job so far. Everybody was saying that, well, Coach Johnson's gone, Barry Switzer this and Barry Switzer that. But now I think that we've got the first 4 games under our belt, and Coach Switzer's a little bit more relaxed, and he knows the game situation. He knows how to prepare it throughout the week. I think he's doing a great job, and I think we're going to win a lot of games under him.
Let's go to our studio audience now for another question with Carolyn.
Well, I don't just have a question. I have a special person out here with me. I found number 88 from the original Dallas Cowboys, seems to be Drew Pearson. Okay, there's something that everybody sees a lot. It's called the Hail Mary. And I have one of the originators of the Hail Mary here. Why don't you tell us just a little bit about the first game that you did it in?
The Hail Mary? Actually, it's almost 20 years ago. Next year will be the 20th anniversary of the Hail Mary pass. And a lot of time has come and gone between that, between then and now. But we will be coming out with a full line of headwear products and T-shirts and stuff to commemorate that occasion. So a lot of people give Roger Staubach and Drew Pearson credit for making that happen, but it was a whole football team believing, a whole organization believing, and of course a bunch of fans believing that it could happen, and it did happen.
Drew Pearson, Drew, there are many who would argue that you have numbers that would put you into consideration for the Hall of Fame. How do you feel about that? I have a feeling I know how you feel about it, but what do you think your chances are?
Well, you know, if it happens, it happens, and of course it would be the pinnacle of a very good career for me. But it's something I don't have any control over now. If I can go out and catch some more passes, run some more routes, then maybe I can have some say. But you know, just to be mentioned in that type of breath for a possible or even consideration for the Hall of Fame is very much a positive for me, because I wasn't even supposed to play this game. Ended up playing it for 11 years and having a very good career. So if it happens, I think I can clear my schedule to be available.
Hey, Drew, the ring of honor, man. I know you want it. We've talked about it several times. I mean, is it a chance? Have you talked to Jerry? What will it take?
Well, I haven't talked with Jerry yet, but I think this is a good time to maybe put in a plug to get a meeting together and sit down and talk.
Hey, Drew, just
and see if he has any differences with me. I think I should be there. What I've done for the Cowboys in my career, you know, it's a no-brainer, I think.
Hey, Drew, this one thing I have to ask you. When about in 77, 78, back in them days when you was much, you know,
how old were you
younger
then,
guy.
Nate? How old were you,
college.
Nate?
I was just going into college. I was a junior in high school. But anyway, I remember you with an afro, man. What happened? Look like you lacking.
That's the kind of influence Tom Landry had on me.
I hear that.
Trying to be like him. You'll be looking like Jimmy in a little while, and Barry.
Well, I'm close to Jimmy right now, plump, you know.
You know, Drew, last week I had the opportunity to go over to your bar at Sports 88 over on Park Lane, and we were playing pool with Michael Irvin, and you walked in, and I was amazed at the response that you two had to each other. Would you tell me a little bit about your relationship with him?
Well, we have a very good relationship. It's not the type of relationship we're always out going to dinner and hanging out with each other, but there's mutual respect there. Once we see each other, we like to express that respect, and either through conversation or handshakes or hugs or whatever. But I do respect Michael Irvin, and a lot of people ask me how I felt about him having the double eights, and when it happened, I had no problem with it, because I knew a good man was taking over the double eights, and he's taken it to a new level. It's new and improved, and I wish him the best.
Well, thank you very much, Drew Pearson. Back to you, Mike.
All right, Drew, we appreciate it. Nate and Russell and I will return in just a moment. Stay with us. There's more Sports Waves coming up.
And by Miami Subs Grill. Great food served fast.
Stars in the moonlight, far away, not to stay there. It's the big and keeps my rhythm on. I don't find myself losing.
Back to wrap things up on Sports Waves. Russell, Maryland, on Sunday, you had a chance of a lifetime. You had the interception in your hands. You were headed for the end zone. Were you thinking about the belly flop ahead of time?
I was thinking about everything except catching that ball and making a touchdown. Just one of those missed opportunities.
All right, guys, we appreciate you being with us tonight. Nate Newton, thanks very much. Russell, Maryland, we appreciate it. You'll receive gift certificates from Lombardo Custom Apparel. Congratulations on that.
I already got mine.
Also, Norv Turner from Washington, Drew Pearson, we appreciate those guys being with us. And Emmett Smith also joining us as he was signing books. The Emmett Zone now in print. That's going to do it for Sports Waves for this week. Jimmy back next week with Herschel Walker and Emerson Walls. I'm Mike Doocy. So long, everybody.
by Lombardo Custom Apparel, America's finest custom clothier. Accommodations in South Florida provided by the Marriott Key Largo Bay Beach Resort. And in Dallas, Jimmy Johnson and his guests stay at the beautiful Melrose Hotel.